Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bryony and I do cruelty-free and vegan makeup reviews and tutorials on this channel, and I also do deep dives into the environmental and ethical issues with the beauty industry. So what we're actually doing for all of December is I'm coming with 12 days of festive fun, festive different looks that you can do. What we're going to be doing today is talking around the stigma around beauty products from back in the day and the people that have actually changed the world for the better with the beauty community, and the people that risked their lives, the people that have risked their reputations, the great inventors, those that stood up against the norm and just paved the way for the rest of us to be able to enjoy the makeup the way that we actually do today. So this has been a whole bunch of fun to actually research. I've got all of the resources down below. Everything I've used on my face is also listed down below too. So let's just jump straight into this tutorial and get ready with me whilst we discuss these incredible people. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I come up with new videos every single week. Of course, December, there's more of them. So thank you lovelies so much, and let's just jump straight into it. The boring stuff is done. Who cares? Would we be using anything else today? Sticking with those beautiful blues. Starting with Blue Monday, history of makeup can be talked about for literally days, weeks, months, and I would love to do videos about it, but I doubt I'll get many views on it. We're gonna just be talking about the stuff that is kind of like from the 20th century. So let's harken back to the Victorian times. Back when Queen Vic ruled the land and started the trend of people wearing white to their weddings and did a whole bunch of other things. She also quite demonized sex. That had a massive effect on basically everybody in England, and culturally it just wasn't acceptable to wear makeup. There were so many different weird stigmas about all of it. If you were anyone other than upper class or an actress or a performer, if you wore makeup, then you were effectively a harlot. So there is this one person called Langtry. Now I could make an entire video on her. Like, if you get any time to look into this person, I highly recommend it because she's a bit iconic and scandalous, super scandalous. But anyway, she was kind of the OG influencer. She was the first person to ever endorse a beauty product. So she had this absolutely stunning porcelain ivory skin. Everybody wanted it, and I mean everybody, because of course it was like the height of like being pale is interesting. Basically as Caucasian as you could possibly be. That was what people wanted to be. To be honest with you, it's actually really interesting just how scandalous she was. Like, she had affairs with people. She broke many of the social norms that people were expected to follow. And it's like, huh, okay. But people still adored her. Every newspaper wrote about her. She was discovered by a painter who literally stalked her because he said that her beauty was so captivating. And with our 2021 lens, even before that hopefully, we can definitely see that this was completely inappropriate behaviour. So the Pears soap was the first thing to get her tick of approval, but basically like Victorians, the only thing that you were allowed to wear if you were wealthy enough was powder, and you could have that in an enclosed thing on your desk side. You weren't allowed to ever show that you were using these products, but they would use a whole bunch of different lotions, potions, like make themselves look paler, like whatever, make them have shiny lips. And to have my colouring, like blonde, that wasn't right. You had to darken your brows, but not in a way that anyone would ever admit to because it was just scandalous. So yeah, the fact that she actually could openly endorse these products was very interesting. Boosted the beauty industry after that, but oof, I would have loved to seen how Queen Vic actually reacted to all of this. But she was involved with royalty too, because that was who she had an affair with. Anyway, that's a video for another time. If you want, just let me know down below. Now I want to look at Madam CJ Walker. Will you have heard of that name? Probably not. But she was incredibly influential, an incredible inventor in the beauty industry. She's widely recognized as the first female millionaire, even though this is really highly contended? Yes, that's the word. So even though this is really highly contended, the contentious issue around this was the fact that Annie Turnbow Malone was her financially savvy mentor, and she was said to be the first millionaire, even though what was happening with Madam C.J. Walker, she was creating all of these products specifically for black women, for their hair, for their skin, and for all of their troubles. So she was creating these products, passing it on to her mentor, who was then selling it on. And then when she broke away on her own, she had this business that just grew and grew and grew, because she started off with like door-to-door sales, and then it just changed from that to being able to like ship more, not just to your neighbors. Incredibly amazing person, and the products that she created have actually pretty much stuck around till today. I forget exactly what it is, but I'll have it on screen now. I'm taking blue steel. You knew that I was going to use blue steel. Honestly, I love blue steel so much. Then we're going to talk about Beverly Johnson. So she was actually the first black model to grace the cover of Italian? Is it Italian Vogue? I feel like it was Italian Vogue. It could have been French Vogue, but that was in 1975. And this is despite the fact that she was told that she would never be able to land this job. I'll just have it on screen now. How stunning is she? But she was literally told that, except for the fact that not only is she incredibly highly educated, but she actually has also graced over 500 magazine covers. She's become kind of like a game changer in the fact that she just completely defied people. Yes, she's absolutely stunning, and of course we can talk about attractiveness bias, all of those other things, but the fact that she actually just stuck to her guns and had such gumption is come across people that literally would tell her that she was like too ugly, not attractive enough to be able to actually land a cover role like this, and then to do it. What feeling of vindication they must have gotten. As a bit of an aside, she had a brush-in with Bill Cosby. Yes, that Bill Cosby. So in the 80s, like, he drugged her, and because she was screaming and yelling so much, he couldn't actually have his way with her. So he actually just dumped her on the side of a road. And she's spoken about this, and he had a defamation lawsuit against her, but he dropped it in 2016, so it's almost like there was proof. It's almost like, yeah, that was another one of my many victims. It takes a lot of courage to be able to actually do that, so I'm really proud of her for like not only standing up to the bullies that told her that she wasn't good enough, but also Mintberry. I just really like having a bit of purple mixed in. Pat McGrath. Now, Pat McGrath. Anyway, I'm English, so I call it Pat McGrath. Anybody in the beauty space knows of her name and how she transformed the face of makeup for the better. Always do that trick. You open your eye, you see exactly where your eye comes up to, then you go a little bit above that. She is honestly the most influential makeup artist in the world, if you will. She started out in the 90s where she met a lensman, Stephen Messiel, and they created every lead editorial and cover for Vogue Italia, and she still creates beauty looks for over 60 ready-to-wear couture shows in Milan, Paris, London and New York. And she's the one who sets in place the trends since the 90s, from the dewy skin of the 90s to the foundation that has to last all day for people like us who take selfies all the time, because this is of course the selfish selfie generation, then bubblegum. So she was a global beauty creative design director at Procter & Gamble in 2004, overseeing CoverGirl, Max Factor, and also created Dolce & Gabbana, the makeup. And she launched her own makeup line in 2016, which honestly I don't think I even need to tell you about. It's basically incredible. It's just not cruelty free and vegan, so I can't use it, but I do really admire the work that they've done. And without Pat actually like changing up the way that things were viewed, can you imagine if we still applied makeup with Q-tips like they did in the 80s? Can you imagine what that world would be like? Because I personally do not want to imagine that for a single second. Now I really want to talk about David Bowie, Boy George and Prince, because whilst there are a number of people that we can credit for wearing makeup, I kind of feel like these guys were incredibly influential to a point where I don't think that we would have had like any of the male makeup trends that we have today. Now I know that some people still hate men wearing makeup, and to you I say shut up. Makeup is a form of expression. It's literally art for your face. The impact that they made has been exponential. In particular Bowie, like I really want to talk just about Bowie. Taking bubblegum, and of course I'm using that in the inner corner, under the brow. Oh, got quite a bit on my eyebrow hair there. From the 70s onwards was honestly such a brilliant chance for people to actually express themselves more openly. Specifically, I believe that Bowie had such a big impression during these times, and his look, as we all know, evolved again and again and again and again. I mean, like, a lot of people automatically think of the iconic Ziggy Stardust look, but then he also had like the really romantic look where he had like those big old blonde curls. He had so many different types of looks. So because of course this was a performance that people were putting on, in particular with Bowie, like he really embraced that. We are indeed taking floating lights today. Now this is one thing in the defense of like doing your eyeshadow before your base, because there is definitely a lot of a blue cast along here, but I'm going to try and make it work with like highlight and stuff because I can't be bothered fixing it, to be honest with you. Starting off with luster, I don't even know if Makeup Geek makes this anymore. So we're going for a very glazed eye bag look today. Bowie nicked the idea of the spiky flame colour mullet from a model wearing Japanese designer Kansai Yamamoto on the cover of an issue of Honey magazine. So Bowie completed the Ziggy look with a heavy-handed kabuki style makeup. His makeup artist at the time, Pierre Laroche, played a critical role in this, and a prominent circle of glitter plastered onto his forehead, a futuristic third eye modelled after the shiny silver half circles his Chinese professor Calvin Lee would wear on his own forehead in the 60s. So whilst it's not necessarily one person that we can actually attribute all of this stuff to, because it really does take a whole village, it takes so many different inputs, support, influences, everything. I'm not a believer in the self-made man. Bowie did become an icon for those who needed him, and still is an icon. Anyone who says he isn't, well, you're just uneducated. And his willingness and appreciation for experimentation has honestly left a lasting mark on society. I'm just going to put my lashes on and I'll be back for the gems. So these eyelashes are the King ones from Sass Beauty, New Zealand. You'll notice I've got nothing on my lower lash line. That's because I'm going to be placing some gems under here right now. This is a really good glitter adhesive. I've never worn contacts in my life, but I feel like this is how people feel. Oh, that's not one bit uncomfortable. It's really not. I was gonna do like more going along here and stuff, but I just sort of feel like this is really wearable the way it is right now, and I feel like everyone could wear this when they're going grocery shopping and stuff. I want to talk a little bit about my crushes when I was a teenager, which is like the pop punk bands of the 2000s, because they also had a big impact. They wore eyeliner. I know that that might not seem like such a big deal today, but that was like the classic emo look, and it had a really big influence on fashion back then. And also, like, people still wear eyeliner today. Like, there's Jason Momoa that does it. Johnny Depp, of course, like, made it quite iconic when it comes to Pirates of the Caribbean. Every man felt like their alter ego just coming to life when they dressed up like Captain Jack Sparrow or channeled him in some way and did the woo thing. So that's just what makeup can do. Makeup can do all of these amazing, wonderful things, and it's like, why aren't you doing this all the time? It's so much fun. I promise you, you'll have a great time. If you're enjoying this, try doing it every day. And teenage boys actually wanting to express themselves in a way that is wearing makeup openly is really impressive. Now, please, could this trend just come back? Because I want my husband to wear black eyeliner so badly, because I think it would really suit him. But plus, I want men to just be able to wear makeup openly and freely and feel like it's just a nice thing that they can do if they want to. Just like women shouldn't be forced to wear makeup, men shouldn't be forced to wear makeup, gender norms don't need to be adhered to. But anyway, that's of course like kind of what this is all about, right? Like just smashing through like the rules that are in place for people. If you want to wear makeup as a man, you go ahead and do it. No one is going to shame you for it. I'm certainly not. I'm going to freaking applaud you because I bet that you're better at doing it than I am. That was the BFF Lipliner that I was just using from Colourpop, and this is the Ticklish Lipgloss. Now we need to talk about drag queens. Now I would be so remiss if I didn't credit drag queens with all of the amazing abilities that we've been taught by them with makeup. If I could actually come up with a video that talked about breaking norms around beauty and didn't mention drag queens, I would just be like cancelled forever, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have the techniques that we're using today. You see how I use a cut crease? Drag queens. You see how we have done contouring? Drag queens. Also baking under the eyes, baking anywhere that isn't like the kind of baking that you're thinking of. Drag queens. They've done so much for the beauty community, but of course it started from a place where they were persecuted. People that just strive for what they want and follow their passions against adversity, I mean, can we just like leave round of applause in the comments? So I'm just going to talk about this right now. There are videos that cover the entire history of it all, and because this is not my place to speak on the matter, I can only talk from a place of appreciation because I haven't been through that journey myself. I can't harken back to every single drag queen, drag mother, every single person, because I'm not educated enough on the matter, but I will link down below any really great videos for you, and we will have on screen now the incredible timeline that's available. Of course there are those that we know today like RuPaul, Lady Bunny. Like when it comes to RuPaul, like talk about creating like one of the biggest, and I mean biggest, like companies ever. It's just so iconic. I mean every single person knows RuPaul's Drag Race. Why can't I say it? I can't talk now, I've been talking too much. We've also got drag queens like Divine back in the 80s who inspired the iconic look of Ursula. Everything harkens back to the 20s in New York. So New York was like the birthplace of it. And as you'll see on this timeline that I've got on the screen right now, there has been a long journey, there has been a lot of fighting that has gone on to stand up for people's rights, and of course this beautiful expression that people have been able to do. Without people like Lady Bunny, RuPaul, Divine, Priscilla as well. Does anybody remember that in the 90s? The thing is that they were really persecuted for just being them and expressing themselves. That's not as much the case today. It still happens, so we're still fighting against it. So thank you to the entire drag community out there. So obviously I know that this was a bit of a long video, but I do hope that you learned something new. I'll have all of the links down below so you can like dive into like the individual people a bit more if you want to, or I can do individual videos if you want. Just comment down below whatever you want me to cover and I will do it for you. It really does take a village. Without people standing up for what's right and having a courage of conviction, and honestly, sometimes risking more than just their reputation, we wouldn't be in the world of beauty that we're in today. Some people might call the beauty community toxic. I put that down to like 4 people up at the top. The rest of the beauty community, we're all celebrating a whole bunch of amazing stuff like we should be. So we're in a much more colourful world because of all of these people that I've talked about today, and for that I'm forever grateful, and that's why I really wanted to focus on it today. So thank you lovelies so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and also hit that bell notification. I'm coming out in December with a new video every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday, and that's kind of where we're at right now. So thank you lovelies so much for watching. I'll see you all again very soon. Bye. The cat fluff on my brush, oh my god. You can't see it because it's a pixie fluff, but you can feel it.